All right, so if you haven't done so yet, you need to change the direction of your ceiling fan. Here's why. We know that warm air rises and cooler air does sink because it's more dense. Clockwise rotation gives us sinking of air, while counterclockwise rotation gives us lifting. So you need to be changing it. In the winter months, we want warm air to sink because we know warm air rises. So we want that warm air to go to lower levels. And to do that, we need to spin the rotation needs to be clockwise.
Okay.
And the summer months, we want that warm air to rise because we don't want it to be at low levels where we're sitting in our living rooms, right? So Tim, you're here with me now. All this does is this demonstrates warm air rising. So I just have a paper plate here that's really not doing much. And Tim, what I want you to do is I want you to light that tiki torch there. If we can get it going. There's not much oil in it. So right now you'll notice the plate that I've kind of put spinning here, it's not really doing anything. But what ends up happening is when we put it over, let's see, I need to hold it differently, I guess. It starts to spin.
Oh wow, you can see it spinning.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's going clockwise right now.
So right now it is going clockwise. That's really not, I mean, if I were to cut it differently,
Okay.
it would have been changing. But if we move it away from that flame again, it isn't going to be doing anything.
This is so interesting. I
So-
was just telling you during the commercial break
Yeah.
that my fan over my bed right now I had to crank it last night because
Yes.
I think I
You had it turned the wrong
Wrong way.
direction. So if you are not turning your clock, if you're not turning your fan, look at that go. So
yeah.
what this indicates is that warm air rises. And if you're not turning it, you're right. So what you're doing, if you haven't changed the rotation yet, all that warm air that's rising, you're pushing it back down. So if you don't change it, your fan isn't even being used
not doing it anything.
correctly. And
No
then you
wonder
gotta
I'm
keep,
so warm.
And then you got to keep cranking it up, This is the same thing that happens. You know when you're in an airplane and you feel turbulence?
Okay,
This is turbulence.
gotcha.
So whenever you're in an airplane and you feel a lot, your plane's going over a thermal, it's going over a different boundary where there's warm air. This is also what birds are doing when they go from area to area. They're basically hopping on these thermals. And it's look at that. I mean, it's
Yeah, you can see
remarkable.
It is. Now, Brittany, do you know much about ceiling fans? Tell people at home, we say
Yeah.
change the direction, but what does that actually mean? Is it as simple as a switch?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Okay, so yes, it'll be on any of your ceiling fans. Usually it's either a hanging thing or there'll be a switch on it. And it will say, some of them will actually say reverse.
Okay.
So just click it to reverse this time of year and it will go clockwise. And then again in the fall, when you want that in wintertime, when you want that warm air at low levels, you'll click it again. So now it'll go counterclockwise, but in the wintertime you want it clockwise, sorry, you want that high pressure.
Okay.
So you're kind of creating a high pressure system. That's what you want in the winter months, but right now, you want that warm air rising. So you want it counterclockwise. That's right. So this will be on our website and of course on the WRCB weather app.
Always love science on Sundays,
Yes,
Brittany.
yeah.
Always learn something new, so practical. We're going to put this fire out and we'll be back right after this.